Hey you guys, Terra here, Goddess Intuition. So in this video, I think I'm gonna do like a confession. um and it's so crazy because I just started off like doing my makeup, and I was like really excited to talk about a couple of different things, but my emotions just hit me, and I kind of like teared up out of nowhere. What I really wanted to say is, like, it's really important to work through your issues and work through things that you may be feeling and going through, and just kind of like get to yourself and talk to your body, and your body will respond back and your body will talk back to you. But I just realized that relationships, family and friendships and stuff like that is very, very needed, and it's very important for us to have. And I can't believe that I'm saying all of this because I'm normally a strong person. I like to be seen in a certain light. And I'm a really strong, confident person, but it's really like settling in that there's nothing wrong with building solid relationships. Not saying that I haven't been, honest or like loving in my relationships or anything like that, but I don't like to open up to people. Why am I tearing up? I don't like to open up due to like different things that I've gone through. And I think that it's really important that we should, like talk things out, like as family, and talk things out. Because you could be going through a lot and no one can know, And I think a lot of the times we hide. A lot of the times we hide because, we don't want to be judged and we don't want to be seen in a different light. And I think we may be afraid a lot of what people may say, or I have to be the strong one, I have to be the one that holds it all together. But sometimes it's not like that all the time. Sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes you need someone to like open up to, or you need, like support. And it's crazy because like, yeah, I've been working through different things and like stuff like that, but this just hit me like out of nowhere. And that's crazy, but I felt the need to say that, and not be ashamed about that. I'm not ashamed, I used to be, though, to express myself and to be bold. But that was just my own inner self. That was my own things that I had to work through, and I'm still working through. It's something, because it's like healing never you never stop healing. It's an ongoing thing, and we will deal with that for the rest of our lives. And there's nothing wrong with going through things and clearing up things and releasing things, because that's a part of who we are. So, yep. We really need to understand how important people are. It's so crazy, because I was meditating on love and what love really means to me, and what does it feel like. And love is just, there's nothing attached to it. It's just, and you know it when you feel it, because it's a warm feeling. It's something that is soft and genuine, and you're free. You feel free. You don't feel like you're being held down or in confinement or anything like that. That's what it is for me. And a lot of the time it's abused. The word love is abused. People use love to abuse others and manipulate others. That's abuse. You know what I'm saying? And it's abuse on a micro level. It may not seem like it's a big thing, or it's because I don't believe that in our society it isn't seen as trauma, but it's very much so trauma, and it's very, very, it builds up over time. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's really important that we have these different discussions, because people use the word love to manipulate and to harm others. And if you're vulnerable and you're unaware, you can get traumatized just with dealing with people, or in that arena of emotions, not understanding why, or what have you done to deserve whatever it is that you're going through. And it's a lot to deal with, but you deal with things, and you try to have a understanding, and you try to make sense of things, you know what I'm saying? And you try to move forward in a healthy manner. So yeah. And I just think that is really something when people use the word love to manipulate, because love is really pure. It's honest. You know what I'm saying? It's pure. So this is why I have a problem with using that to gain something, or use that to try to some sort of agenda. It's culturally, it's very it's normalized, because we hear a lot, oh, you've been hurt, you've been through this or whatever, just get over it. And it's like, no, it's something that is very traumatizing. It's something that is very it messes with your psyche. You know, it messes with your ability to think, to get through the day sometimes when you have gone through some things. And we all play a part in how our relationships are and how people treat us. You know, this is why I always talk about self-love and how the importance of self-love and how you really need to establish boundaries, healthy boundaries, um, just that healthy, you know, the love that you're supposed to have for yourself, and that will show others how to really treat you. You know, if someone else see that you don't care about yourself, they're not going to care about you. They're going to figure you out, learn different triggers that you have expressed, or different things that they have just picked up on, and they're going to use that against you. And it's very sad. You know, it's very ugly and it's very nasty to do such a thing, but you have people out there that does those kinds of things to people without any remorse. A lot of us are empaths. A lot of us can feel. A lot of us can um, relate to someone that has been hurt just through their story, and we may tear up and cry, or we may, you know what I'm saying, whatever. And it's like, it's something when you don't have no feeling, when you cannot feel. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's something. And so it's really important that we, you know, just be honest and real with ourselves enough to work through, you know, and learn as we go, because we don't have it figured out. Don't None of us have it figured out. We don't have it figured out. We're here to learn and to experience different things and to go through different things, but we don't have it figured out. We don't know what the hell we doing. We just going and learning as we go. But what I do know is that when you are pure, when you have a good heart, and when you're loving, you have to really shield that. You have to not be afraid to be who you are or whatever, but you have to really be mindful of who you deal with, because you could put yourself in a situation where you will be experiencing something that can be damaging to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking in terms of all abuse is horrible, you know, but it's on a micro level that we deal with emotional abuse, and we don't even know that we're going through it, and it builds up over time, you know, and it becomes it's like you don't hear your intuition anymore. You don't hear that voice in the back of your head that's just, which is your intuition, your soul. You hear the negative thoughts. You hear that other person that may have traumatized you or may have emotionally abused you. You know what I'm saying? That's all you hear when you go to do something, or when you go to do something that you never wanted to do. You hear something in the back of your head, oh, you could never do that. Oh, that's, you're not good enough to do that. You know, just stuff like that. And it really needs to be discussed in a matter, in a form of not being judged, not being looked upon as different, because we all go through it. We just don't talk about it. We all go through trauma. We just don't talk about it. We express it, and we express it through our behavior. So we lash out and we get angry and we get passive aggressive, and we hide. We hide. you know. And no one should feel like that. You know, no one should feel like they have to not be able to speak and be themselves. You know? I don't care who you are, what you've gone through, the things that you've been through. Know that you are loved and you matter. And speak to that child inside of you that has gone through, and have compassion, you know. Yep. So I believe people can grow if they make a decision to do so. And it's the same thing for the people that has been through things, you know. You can make a decision to say, you know what, I'm not the victim. Sometimes, like I said, we play a part in our own demise, but sometimes we don't because we're unaware. And this is why it's really important to listen to your intuition. If something doesn't feel right, it's not right. If you are in a relationship and either party, whether it's a woman, whether it's a man, they start off really nice, things are going well, you know, you guys probably have been intimate with each other, and all of a sudden that person just switch, or they just out of nowhere. Pay attention, because that's a red flag. The red flags are there. And that's the thing, not even just with relationships. This is happening globally, like all over the world. You know, I know there's been a lot of different things out about narcissism. I've even talked about narcissism and just different things on a different scale of how you know, things operate as far as like people and their relationships and whatever. But it's happening all over, and it's like more and more people are talking about it, but it's I believe it's put into the category of something that you can experience and then get over. But I don't think people really understand when you run into people like that are very manipulative, and they have a way with words, and they know how to persuade and how to talk, and they're very sweet. And you know, some of these people, they look like they have it all together, and you know, to the average person, it's like, wow, this person has everything going for them. They're very sweet, they're very nice, they're giving even, you know, but behind closed doors, it's like a whole nother person. It is a whole nother person. You know, it's a whole nother, it's a whole nother person. You know, and if you're on a path of trying to find yourself and trying to really get to yourself and learn yourself, it's good to it's really good and healthy to be able to identify with people and not to judge them, but to really identify with like the red flags, to save yourself and to keep yourself from getting into a situation that can possibly harm you. Excuse me, not harm you, not possibly harm you, that will harm you. So, and this goes for men, women, children. You know, words does hurt. Words hurt, actions hurt, and it's really important that we be mindful of the things that we say and, you know, the things that we do, because it can have a huge effect on someone. You know, you never know what a person has gone through, and you never know when something may just take them over and take them, you know. This is where depression, this is where anxiety comes from. Sickness, mental health, it all stems from that, you know. And you have to really be mindful. Know who you are, love yourself. I don't care what you've gone through. You may not feel worthy, but you are worthy. You are magical, you know, and never let anyone take that away from you, because these people, let me tell you something about people that are manipulative. They don't have no identity. They don't have no self-worth for themselves, not because somebody else has placed it on them, but because of what they've experienced possibly in their childhood and just dealing with other people. They've been traumatized. You know, they wasn't able to spiritually or mentally put themselves in a space where they wasn't what am I trying to say? They wasn't able to defend themselves. And so it's a possibility that when harm was done to them, they was defenseless. You know, they wasn't able to protect themselves, is what I'm trying to say. They wasn't able to protect themselves. And so that turned into them being defensive against people and actually wanting to do harm possibly to others, you know, and just a whole storm within themselves of them having to protect themselves. And you know, it's a lot. And so they project a lot of what they are feeling. You know, a lot of people, they can hide it, but you will see it though, because it's like red flags that you will see. You know, it start by and I'm sorry, I'm all over the place, but I'm just being really led to say what I need to say. It start by like praise, like they praise you, and then that goes into devalue. You know, you would hear, you know, the other party say things like, oh, you're gonna wear your hair like that, I liked how you wore your hair the other day, or you know, you used to look really good in that dress. Now you don't look good in that dress anymore, or you know, just stuff like that. You know, um, it starts in, like I said, really, really small, really, really micro. And you're thinking to yourself, like, oh, this person, they're just protective of me. You know, they love me or whatever. You know, whatever. Not knowing that you're being manipulated, or, you know, not knowing that they're setting you up to abuse you even more, possibly physically. You know what I'm saying? And if you're an empath, obviously they're drawn to your light. They're drawn to your beautiful spirit, your pure spirit that you have, you know. They're energy vampires. They suck the energy right out of you because they don't have no identity of for themselves. Of themselves. They don't know who they are because they've been through whatever it is that they've gone through, and they the best way I can explain it is like when a child is younger and they go through some kind of trauma or abuse, they tend to take on different identities, starting right there. This isn't, I'm not a doctor or anything like that, just from me absorbing, um, and just being led to really look and being able to identify with that kind of behavior. Because you notice if you're around people like that, they have a way of being someone that they're really not. So obviously they take on different characteristics of other people. They may have watched something on TV or been around somebody else that um, they really liked, so they learned them, and so they try to walk around as if they're the person themselves. You know what I'm saying? And um, they use that as a catalyst, you know what I'm saying, to help will in people. That, you know, they help, they use that as a catalyst to help, um, with the whole fairy tale and illusion that they've created. And it's really, really crazy because, you know, obviously, on a scientific level, you know, it's a spectrum of different characteristics. You know, you have borderline, personality disorder, and then you have like narcissism, and just a wide range. So it's kind of hard and it's very dangerous. And these people are, some of them are really good at hiding who they really are. You know, they surround themselves with other people that are of, high standard. You know, they blend right in, and so you won't know these people until you actually get to know them. Know them, and most likely it's through like, romantic relations. You know what I'm saying, or like a close family member, or you know. So the best movie that really, really, one of the best movies, because it's a lot of them, but one of the best movies is, Tyler Perry's Temptations. The guy, you know, he started off, really, really sweet, and he was just this high maintenance guy, and you know, he wanted to come in and, you know, start working with the other company. And you know, the girl, she was naive, she didn't know any better. And you know, to him on the outside, he had money, power, wealth, you know, dressed nice, beautiful home, clothes, um, cars. But she, the girl, the young lady, she just thought that he was just another person that just of wealth, you know, probably. And she didn't know deep down inside that he was a narcissist. that he were uh, mentally ill, you know. And if you've seen the movie, you know, you see what happened to her after she mentioned that he what abused and left in a crack house. So obviously he was dealing with trauma, you know. And a lot of these people, they escape, they become things, you know, they become powerful and things like that. But it's really fascinating because it's like when you look at these people, what makes them, it's like you ask yourself, what makes them be that way? You know, it's all about power and control. It's all about power and control, you know. Look at Donald Trump. It's all about power and control. And see, you have to really know what it's like. You have to really gone through the relationship in order for you to see the signs, because it's like if you haven't, you're not going to see it. You're not going to identify with it. You know, it's crazy. But and it can really affect you, so you just have to be mindful. You have to pay attention to red flags, pay attention to what a person is showing you, so you won't get caught up in the web of whatever it is that they're trying to do. Whatever the agenda is, you won't be a part of it, because you will be able to see through it, or you will be able to identify. I'm getting a call.